Hello, and welcome to another episode of Get Out and Grow with the Happy Homesteaders. Now, obviously, we're here on YouTube, and also we're StreamYard, so the link should be posted on the Get Out and Grow with the Happy Homesteaders Facebook group. And of course, you can. It's basically to stop me wittering on. It's now time for more great gardening advice.
Do you know what, John? I wasn't gesturing for you to get on with it. There's a fly bothering me in here, so don't ignore me. Ignore me, and we'll come back to the serious subject of Venus flytrap cruelty later on in the show. And Louise is here. Louise, really the star of the show. I've got your videos lined up, Louise. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight. Get your gardening questions in. We've got a few. Anna's got them lined up, but maybe it will be cool to start with checking in, see how everyone's doing, if they've done anything in the garden. We always know that Lee has been very busy in the garden because he's a professional gardener. How are you, Lee? What have you been up to in these last 2 weeks?
Oh, busy, just flat out busy. It's height of the cutting season now. Grass is really going quickly. All the hedges are in full growth mode, and here in Portugal, the veggies ripen and ready for harvesting. We're already harvesting veg, so it's just that busy time of year again. Although it's always busy.
Yeah. And I saw you took issue with somebody. I like to talk to you about the commercial side of gardening, and somebody was looking for somebody to scrub bash or to get their land into looking pretty, and they were offering the princely sum of €10. They were willing to pay fuel as well. And I think I hope you don't mind me mentioning it. You weren't too keen on that offer, were you?
No, I think it's a little bit cheeky.
Okay, derisively. Okay, because after all, you've got a lot of investment, haven't you, from your side?
If you consider doing machine, the person was asking for some ground to be cleared of boulders, so you're not talking a light strim. You're talking real hard graft and work, and with dedicated machinery. If you think of, we're here in Portugal, vehicles are expensive.
Yeah.
Tractors are expensive in the world. In Portugal, they're very expensive. And you think of the fuel, the insurance, the running costs, the maintenance of the machine, the time of year. You want to spend a day out in this heat clearing boulders, you're going to want more than €10 an hour. Well, I would.
There we go. Bring back national service.
I've just acquired a new mowing machine. €2,000. You don't get any change.
Wow.
It's that needs paying for, and not just to buy the machine. I've got to then maintain it, keep the blades, keep the blades good, keep the fuel in it.
Yeah.
And that's one machine out of everything I've got in my inventory.
Yes.
So it's just not gonna float my boat.
Not touching the side. Okay, fair play. And I guess everyone, it's the perils of capitalism, of course, isn't it? They're probably on a tight budget and they're trying to do something, and we're all up against it. But you make a good point, Lee. And Fiona Worrell came to your defence as well, I think, didn't she?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't need defending because I didn't get into the argument with it. I've done it before where I've made a list of my costs, and it soon finishes the argument, and now I just don't do it anymore. I just ignore it.
You're too busy earning money, mate, gardening, rather than wasting time because your time can disappear very rapidly in such social media debacles, I think. Okay, we'll come back to light streaming in just a minute. Anna, how are you? What's been going on with you? I think you had an exotic visitor to your house today.
It's been incredibly busy. I've had quite a bit of wildlife actually so far. One actually ended up wanting a tour of the house unexpectedly, but we've had sightings of the greater spotted woodpecker again, which is really good. Unfortunately, I've never got my camera to hand, and every time I go to reach for my phone, it takes off, and then I don't see it for a few days. So no pictures to show, unfortunately. But we've had loads of birds to the feeders, and I've been topping them up, and I've discovered woodpeckers seem to quite like the suet pellets. So a little top tip for anyone if you want to encourage any woodpeckers. And we had an unexpected visitor. Fortunately, live because we had a little visitor. As you can see, we had a robin which somehow managed to make its way indoors. This was actually on top of the bookshelf in the hallway of my place, and it was one of those times when we thought it had actually managed to find its way out, and then about sort of 15 minutes later we discovered it was still in. So I think it was trying to work out how to get back out again, because it's a bit of a with the back door being on the opposite end of the flat to the front door. So it eventually managed to make its way out, and we've unfortunately had a couple of rodent visitors coming to the feeders, as in bigger than mice. I might need to try and work out how to prevent that from happening. Fortunately not inside, just outside, but they seem to be finding the food and actually scaling the branch at most as well. So I've seen three definite types of wildlife so far.
So are we talking about a lovely picture of the robin there? Were you blessed with any good luck on any of your books there?
Not what I can see. It's actually a little bit out of our reach, so hopefully all okay there. And
this rodent, is it rats or squirrels that you're struggling with?
Technically both. At the moment, I think it's possibly rats. We did have one mouse scaling the branch where the feeders are, because we've got a little bit of ground outside the sitting room, and we've just got the feeders on the branch outside the sitting room window. And only just recently we've discovered mice and even a rat occasionally making an appearance as well, and they're literally just sort of scaling the branches and just sort of trying to help themselves to whatever they can find, really. One pest to look out for if you're not keen on the old rodents.
Well, we should maybe come back to that and see what can be done about that. I'm sure Lee's got some tips on that. Monsieur Ajay, John Agate, how are you today? Is he going to unmute himself or not, I wonder? Go on, John, do it.
And yet again, I've forgotten to unmute myself. Typical, isn't it? You try to be professional and then you do something really unprofessional like not unmuting yourself. So you're just going...
We saw you.
But, anyway, so let's get on with it. So I went to Bath to see my sister at the weekend, and we went to Dereham Park, which is a National Trust place just outside of Bath. And we didn't go in the house, but we went around the gardens, and they've got really interesting gardens there, actually, and there's quite a lot going on. So, if you want to go and see that kind of thing, as we can do a little bit of more traveling now, but not much more, a little bit more, then you should try and go to that.
Well, I'm going to share it on the screen, John, so you can see. I mean, it's an unusual spelling, not an easy one to find, and I think our American visitors would absolutely love this historical place. DYR, isn't it? And look at this absolute natural treasure of the UK. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, very nice.
That's a classic, isn't it? Stately home garden, beautifully done. Who did you find out who the designer was? Because they made themselves famous, didn't they? The designers of stately home gardens. Look at that formality, Lee. Would you like to get your hands on that?
I'd like to make a mess of that. Yeah, lovely.
So there you go, 17th century house and garden, Dereham Park in the UK. So sounds like you had a great time there. You been in the garden yourself, John?
Not at the moment, but we will try and get in there, because I was having a bit of a wander around, wondering what to do. But yeah. All
right. Okay. Let's go then. We will go back to, thank you, John. We'll go back to Lee's mention of light streaming and find out if this is a case of light streaming or not. We're going to have a little tour of one of our favourite correspondents, Hola, boa tarde, Toros, Louise is here this evening. Thank you, Louise, for being here. And thank you for sending in your videos. We're going to have a little mini tour of your wonderful plot in central Portugal. We've got 5 videos to watch, only a couple of minutes each. But we could do a little bit of a commentary over the top if you wish, folks, because... Oh, actually, no, I think when I play the videos, you might not hear us. So you'll feel free to send comments, especially you, Louise, and I'll overlay them.
Well, hello. This is Louise of Paul, Louise and Lottie, and we are here in our Portugal home. And it is home because we're Portuguese residents. And what you're looking at now is our top horta, our top vegetable patch, which you can see is very, very overgrown. Vines next to our water tank, which comes from a deep bore well. Potatoes, which looks like they have survived and have been only mildly dug up. Something's moved all our water pipes. They were in nice straight rows. And we know from the way the land has been turned up, oh, very much so in this area here, around the olive tree, that we've had a javeli problem. Most of that was whilst we were away. So I will tread carefully here just in case. We have just under an acre of land here. This is the top part of our land. And believe it or not, what you're looking at now is the other top horta patch. You can probably just through here see some Portuguese cabbages through there. I'm not quite sure what I planted there, but looks like everything in this patch has dried out, gone to seed, or has been dug over by something or other. So a big clear up is due. Plus we've got lots of strimming to do. You can see that the top patch there has been done by our neighbour, defining his boundary, and then from there where it's all overgrown is ours. So this is our top horta, our top land. So I'll now take you down towards the other areas of land. Now with javeli, it is a problem here. A lot of our neighbours put up makeshift fences of ladders and old wine bags and things that make noises. But because it's quite a big hunting area, that's a view into our track to our land. Because it's a big hunting area, oh dear.
We move on to the next one in just a moment. But javeli, for anyone who doesn't know, that's wild boar, isn't it? And I have to say, in Lisbon over the weekend, I had some in a Lisbon restaurant. Carpaccio of wild boar, and it was a little barbecue unit, and you could just sear it on both sides. Lee, it sounds like you approve.
I love wild boar. I love wild boar. It's a great meat.
Yeah,
and they are thoroughly. I mean, I've dealt with them in Scotland, and I've eaten them in Scotland, but I've never seen anything like it. You go for a walk in the woods here and down the track, and it's just churned up everywhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Didn't need dealing with. The best way to deal with them is to eat them.
Okay. All right. So you approve of the hunting and shooting as a form of that particular pest control and balance. Paul, Louise here tonight, standing at the top horta, which is now trimmed. So that looks very different. You might send us a photo of that. Planted with tomatoes, peppers, and red onions. They haven't messed about since they've been in the last couple of weeks. That's great news, Louise. And we have come up with a javeli solution for you there. I don't know if you guys are vegetarians or what, but that's Lee's approach to it. Let's go on to the next video.
Okay, so this is down our driveway. As you can see, there's lots of natural weeds. We've actually weed suppressed the area just past the curbstone with the white gravel is, in order to help maintain the land without us having to do too much strimming, but also is the edge of our land as well, or it was until we bought the top patch. But I don't know if you can see at the bottom there, even though it's had no water at all apart from rainfall, we do have geraniums and agapanthus coming in the pot here. So agapanthus, a great flower for all this time of year, very much a Mediterranean flower, as are geraniums. So again, it will need weeding, but it's another sign that there is life still here.
Now that's a great tip, isn't it, Lee? They haven't done anything. They've been away, and those have flowered alone in a pot, not just flowered. But I mean, that's a harsh condition for a flower to be in, and they've come up trumping there.
I just wonder if they spend a large portion of the middle of the day in shade. I couldn't really tell from the video, but I know we have a few spots in the garden where midday it still gets a little bit of shade, and their hydrangeas do really well in it. My neighbour Natalia next door, she has a large tree in the garden with hydrangeas underneath, and they barely get watered, and they're doing really well.
Okay,
Great
so there you
plant.
go. If you need low maintenance, geranium, agapanthus, and hydrangea are the recommendations for today. Brilliant. And I think a bit of a mention there of weed suppression, right? Putting the grit down. I mean, do you find what's your favorite recommendation or method with that, Lee, of weed suppression and things that you can put down?
Well, there's the weed suppression matting. There's the black matting you can buy really cheap. It works out about 90 cents a square meter.
Right.
So you put your matting, you clear your ground first. You put your matting down over the top of that, and then you can cover it with stone, slate, or wood chip, as I've got in our garden here at the moment. Works really well, and it keeps the maintenance right down.
Terrific. Excellent. Okay, onwards then with the video and this tour of the...
So for those of you who have seen some of my pictures in the Good Morning Portugal Get Out and Grow gardening Q&A, I love English flowers. So the blues are cornflowers. In amongst here there's probably mirabilis, there's some canna lilies here, lots of grass, a rosemary that's grown huge. Rosemary, again, Mediterranean plant, do very, very well out here. I do have a couple of roses that we planted that we dug up from a friend's house and planted here. And then these beauties. They move around with the sun, they close up at night, deadhead them, and they'll grow back wonderfully. Not sure what they're called though, I'll have to look that up. Verbena, again, butterflies, bees, love the verbena buniosis. Again, a rose that's gone quite tall, taller than me. An apple tree. This apple tree is a Portuguese variety. I can't remember what it's called, sorry. Then we've got an I want to say osteospermum, but not quite sure of that. Then we've got some bright yellow flowers over there. Some foxgloves, which have self-seeded and are wild. Again, more cornflowers at the front there. And then over here we've got some, an agapanthus just in here that's just trying to open up. And then this beauty grows particularly well in Mediterranean countries. It's called a lantana. Okay, that's the flower border.
Very nice flower border there. Did you recognise that daisy looking thing, Lee?
I couldn't really see clearly on the picture, to be honest.
Right.
I'm on my phone, so
yeah,
I was trying to listen.
Yeah, thanks, Louise. That's awesome. We've got more, and full sun apparently on those flowers that we were talking about before. So they really do take a caning, and probably might not cope with that. Say that again, Lee.
With them being in containers as well, it is really surprising, isn't it?
Yeah,
really, yeah.
I'm very dry. Although we had a wet winter, didn't we? So that might be part of the success story there.
The containers don't contain water from the winter. They soon dry out. I know our containers here, the ones back cool that have been full sun. they need 2 waters a day just to keep them at least a little bit healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm really impressed. Yeah, doing well.
Miraculous. Okay, Kent Barnett's here, everybody. Hey, Carl. Sorry, and team, I haven't been able to be in a long while, but been getting settled in Portugal. Kent, no problem at all. It's great to have you here. And we know that when you're moving to Portugal, there can be many plot twists. I mean, that's just life as well, isn't it? So the added, life is full of plot twists, and the added drama of migration, immigration, we completely understand. And if we can help you at all with any questions about gardening, you've got a great team here for you tonight. Okay, so let's go back to the videos from Louise here. And we have video number 4. Just this is the penultimate one tonight.
Border number 2, and there are only 2. In front of you, you can see nasturtiums, scabia, the pale pink ones, calendula, and this beauty here is called actimia. It needs a bit more water. It's a succulent ground cover. Bees absolutely love it. Some Linnaeus growing there. The white ones, they are, my friend calls them Mary Poppins flowers, chimchimnea. She calls them chimchiminis. But they grow from a bulb. Again, the bugs and the bees love them. So they'll need to be cleared around so that they can grow properly. Going down, we've got an orange tree, a very old orange tree that we cut back a couple of years ago, but we have a spur growing up there which we'll cut off. The spikes on orange trees are absolutely huge. Yeah, so showing here, don't know if you can see the spike in here. So they grow absolutely huge, especially if they're on spurs. We've got glads coming up here, and then some in need of water desperately, some dahlias, canna lilies. Okay, rogue hollyhock there. Going down to our lemon trees. So that's our front flower bed.
Beautiful second flower bed there. And that atmosphere that you hear in the background of central Portugal is very different, isn't it, Lee, to the the capital and the suburbs. It's very, very different sort of vibe there. I love it. Yeah.
The more I travel around Portugal, the more I'm starting to enjoy central Portugal as well.
Yeah.
It's, every little village has got its own little feel to it, its own little microclimate. So you're seeing different things each place you visit. Yeah. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah. And birds are singing their heart out there, and this the overlap of spring and summer. Final video then. This is about 4 minutes, this one. So sit back and have a sip of your tea while this one's on.
Okay, we're now in my little potting area. As you can see, most of the walls around here are schist walls, which means they're from natural stone, very slaty in terms of their composition. And you get schist villages, which are protected villages, which are very small, original centred villages that were only big enough for horse and carts. Anyway, that's my potting table. It's an old door on 2 trellises, and my potting area that then leads onto the kitchen garden. So walking through all these beautiful wild flowers here, blues and purples, the yellows of all the weeds here, and then, believe it or not, to the left of this white wall is my vegetable patch. It's 12 metres by about 1.5 metres long and wide. As you can see, I've got lots of weeds, what looks like onions or leeks that have bolted here. I also use it to pot on some plants. So we've got some gaura here that I've plotted on for somebody, for a friend of mine. We do have some beetroot that have grown in, so that's good. It's always nice, I think, to have a mixture of flowers in your vegetable patch as well. So we've got some lilies growing there. It looks like the freesias that I have here that have gone over. This is a fennel that's just going to seeds. again, once the flowers come out on the fennel, the bees really love it. That's not my stomach grumbling, that's the irrigation just being turned on. Rosemary, as I said before, I think rosemary is a Mediterranean plant, so it grows really well here. These are seed heads from cilantro, coriander. So what I'll do when I get to this border, I will, or veg patch or herb patch, I will cut them down, sprinkle them over, and see if they self-seed when they're dry. Again, some more mint. Mint is verdant. It will grow by runners under, and it will just spread everywhere, so it does need to be cut back and maintained. This looks like parsley that has gone too far. Again, we'll see what we can salvage there. And then, not quite sure what was here, but this will be eventually tomatoes. Yes, I've seen. And then down here somewhere we have some, oh, that looks like an olive branch. And under here we have some rhubarb that is struggling, but yeah, the crown hopefully will survive. And then finally over here we have these soft fruits. So we have some strawberries. We've only been here a couple of hours and we've already ate 2, so that's good. This is a madronia, the strawberry tree plant. We only planted that as a sapling last year, so that's done really well. However, like other things, it does need water. This is my salad patch. So you can see here a very tall beetroot coming up here. Gone to seed, some lettuce that have gone to seed in there. Again, finished by a rosemary at the end there. And that's it for the veg patches.
There you go. That's fantastic. Central Portugal, near Ceuta. Look what you can do with your own bit of land there. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? Something to be proud of. And there hasn't been, they haven't been there to be able to look after it because of lockdown and so on. But still, a beautiful yield and an abundance there that we can see in Portugal. Let's cue those questions up. Thank you so much, Louise. Really appreciate that. Let's cue up the Q&A questions. But before we go there, I have a couple more pictures from Louise that you very kindly sent me to share with everybody. And we have the like a before and after with the potting table. Where have my photos gone? Oh, here we go. And this was a pic you sent the other day of your beautiful view from one of your windows. Isn't that lovely? And more recently, I think earlier today or yesterday, the potting table there, all cleared and ready to go. Looking forward to that, Louise. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Same with anybody who wants to send pics of the patch. Do send them in to us and we'll share. And live site visits as well are fantastic. We improvise there because of timing and so on. And thank you again, Louise, Paul, and Lottie for that. Really marvellous. Lee's gone. But we'll do our best to answer some of the questions. We were having a chat with him before. One of them might be what's going on here, right, Anna? Do you want to pick that up?
Yeah, this was, I think, looking at the picture, this was from my friend Joe in Cornwall, and was just wondering, has the spinach bolted, and if so, what to do?
Okay, and we got confirmation, didn't we, from the man himself that has indeed bolted. And yes, he told us what your suggestion was absolutely right, and you checked in with, didn't you, with Lee about that?
I think I recognise the tiny little. I was going to say the fur, almost like the furry kind of tops to it, and that sort of indicated to me it looked like it had possibly bolted, because I think I've definitely dealt with removing lettuces that almost look like Christmas trees when they bolt, because they almost go triangular instead of growing outwards. You can tell they're bolting because they just go straight up. So I have dealt with a few bolting lettuces in my time, so I thought that was looking fairly similar.
And what to do with them? Your discussion there with Lee. What was the prescription for that?
Yeah, I just had the answer. Just compost them and start over again, because they're really quick at regrowing. So yeah, they can grow back in a matter of weeks.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what we can do without Lee.
I was going to say there's one from the group. We've got one from the group which is on fruit trees and how to start them before planting them in the land.
Yeah.
In the Portugal area, and I've actually got two. First time I've actually had two questions on the same subjects, but I've got two on honeysuckle. One from Mansell, in fact, and he was wondering what are the preferred light and watering conditions for them. And my friend Kirsten in Exeter has got a struggling honeysuckle that has got spots of what looks like mould, and the leaves are going yellow and dropping, and any help will be welcome.
Okay, I think for the time being, Lee is on the missing list. We'll just ask if there's any honeysuckle fans out there and any tips for their care. We've actually got some more pictures from Louise, fresh in, like fresh out of the garden, basically, these pictures. But just pop this in the comments for now. If you can help with the honeysuckle question, a couple there, light and your care plan, really, I suppose, for your honeysuckle, and the problem with mouldy leaves that are dropping as well. Do let us know, please, and you can do that. You don't have to do it live now. If you pick this up later on in one of our many platforms, feel free to answer in the comments there. But yeah, just going back to near to Ceuta in central Portugal. Look at this, what a transformation! That's the top garden now, completely trimmed and cleaned up with an irrigation system in place. Fantastic. And that agapanthus, look at it now. That's all been cleaned up and weeded in that area. That looks fabulous as well. Agapanthus is a great plant over here. See it all over Portugal. And finally there, the flower bed, looking really, really good. You guys have been busy, I think it's safe to say, and obviously having some well-deserved cold beer or chilled wine of an evening Portuguese style after all of that. What other questions can we offer up, Anna, and sort of leave them hanging there as well? Let's put those forward for people.
Yeah, I think they're all the ones that I have had in that I've made a note of. I haven't seen any other ones come in on the group so far. I've been checking throughout, and nothing new has come into my knowledge.
Okay, I'm gonna crank up the group so people can see it, and we'll see if anything's come in just recently. I've got something to share with you. It was Portugal Day last week, or one of the days of last week. I forget which one it was now. It's either Wednesday or Thursday, but it celebrates their Shakespeare, basically, Luís de Camões. And this is the scene from where I live at the moment, across the orchards of the Caldas de Rainha area in Portugal. And this is one of the lines from Portugal's Shakespeare, if you like, Camões. 1,000 trees are seen towards heaven rising with beautiful and sweetly scented apples. That is actually what's going on right now. You can smell it in the air now. That's going to be heady and cidery in a few months' time. But at the moment, the miracle of fruit on the trees is occurring right in front of our eyes across pretty much every hillside around here. It's really, really magnificent, as you can see from that picture. So a celebration of Camões's words and life, and a little nod to a belated Happy Portugal Day to everybody, because we weren't here last week. Okay, so I'm going to look up the Happy Homesteaders group and see what there might have been in there. I think our pal in the Algarve was asking for some more tree tips, but I'll pull it up on screen so you can see what we've got going on there. If you haven't joined already, please do. Happy Homesteaders group on Facebook, and you don't have to be here live every Monday from 6:15. You're very welcome to pop your questions in here, and we'll get to see a picture of ourselves broadcasting live, because that's obviously going out on the group right now. But if I scroll down, that's a bit weird, isn't it? If I scroll down a bit further, requests for questions. This one was in from Wayne Barker. I'm not sure you covered this one, Anna, and if you did, forgive me. But so, what's the best way to get fruit trees started before planting? Yeah. You did, didn't you?
I made a note of it, but I never quite know who's covering the ones in the group. But I did make a note of it just in case.
So there we go. Yeah, and we have some land which will be a building site for a year or so. So don't know where trees are going just yet, but wanted to get to establish trees ASAP once building work finished. Okay, so starting trees off in pots And what I've noticed, and I really can't say I'm any sort of expert on this, Wayne, but from my own personal experience and observing Mrs. M, a great place to buy fruit trees is at the markets, and also Lidl. Actually, Lidl do them from time to time. Very, very good value here. And most markets will have a stall selling seedlings and trees in pots. And they seem to, I mean, we've been pretty unkind to some of them because we weren't sure where we were settling from time to time and kept them in their pots. And most of them have seemed to cope fairly well with that. But I guess you've just got to give them as generous a pot as possible, Wayne, if you're not sure when they're going to go into the ground. And we'll come back to Lee on that. If not tonight, then in due course. Other questions that have come up in this last little while. Let's just scrolling through. Oh, thanks to Xander for her comments and talk of the ice plant again. Great to see you in the threads there, Xander from Texas. Who's this? What tips would you give to anyone wanting to try that out? You're asking, grow your soil to grow your plants. So that would lead towards a composting special, which I'm sure we should have, right? We should include that because we did have some talk last week. Has anyone got the list, or do you want me to read out the list of our themes that we came up with last week, folks?
I'm not sure if I haven't got a list to hand in front of me. I don't know if I've actually made a note of that.
Probably read it out because then people know.
Yeah, fair enough. Those of you who are tuned in now, you have first shout and a little bit of power and influence on what we might go with. The things we came up with in our closed discussion. First Monday of the month, it's a planning session for us, for the Fresh Air team. That's me, that's the team you're seeing on the screen right now. And the ideas we came up with together were rewilding, to do a rewilding special. Shout out if you'd like to see that. Native trees, always popular. A native tree special. We do that respectively in the UK and Portugal. Disability, accessibility gardening, carrying on with that thread. That's always been dear to us, but doing more of that. Our own gardens, very happy to at some point share the garden here, which has been adapted for wheelchair use. And love to get Jacqueline back on to talk about that. How to make seed bombs. That's a good one. That's always, we can actually do that on screen, couldn't we? And make some to get, if we get the kits and give people a little bit of advance warning, we could make some seed bombs live on the show. And gardening apps as well, because there are more and more of them, obviously, every day that are available for your Android or your Apple phone. A little bit of a special on gardening apps, but we're always happy to hear about those anyway. Inside the comments, communication coming through. Yes, please, says Naomi Rowan. Namesake of a native tree of the UK, of course. Yes, please. Anything relating to local habitats. Okay, where are you, Naomi? Let us know that, and we can really home in on that and focus that for you. And it looks like we're not going to get Lee back. I don't know if his battery's gone or if he got bitten by a snake or something like that. I don't know what's happening in his garden there. But we'll leave the questions for him to face in the comments there, which he does. He scans the group and he'll come back to those. Anything else, Anna, that you wanted to include? Anything I've or we've missed?
I don't think so. I think we're just sort of open to any ideas that help you, because I know we're just here to put the questions to our expert gardener, and we're happy to. We know it's your group as well as our group, so we're happy to sort of work with whatever we can. And we know that two of us are in England, so we're still getting to know the Portugal sort of side of gardening. But yeah, we'll help however we can, and we're always open to suggestions and happy to go with whatever you want us to do.
Terrific, thank you, Anna. John, anything that we might have missed tonight?
I can't think of anything, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just was thinking. I guess I don't know. I'm just wondering where Lee's gone, really, to be honest. I hope he's all right and everything. But
he might have been eaten by a Venus flytrap, which I think we should.
Yeah, well, I was wondering that as well.
Because he proudly showed us. I was complaining about flies, and Lee said, "Oh, I've got this for our fly challenge here." I'm thinking to myself, my experience of Venus flytraps is not good. That Venus flytrap might have eaten Lee, but if according to my experience, he's using it as pest control. That is going to be eating one fly every week or 2 weeks. And then, Anna, you've had some experience of Venus flytraps. Has anyone here in the comments who's watching tonight ever successfully looked after a Venus flytrap? Or have you, like me and my children, just brushed it with a pencil to see that closing up, and that exhausts the plant, I think. Anna, what's your experience?
I think it has. I think we did sort of admittedly just sort of just see how it was. It was actually a fly that had it anyway, so we just sort of fed it to it and see what happens. And in fact, it was interesting because I don't know how many of the fly traps there were originally. I don't know if there were only about 4 or 5, but I have a feeling they more did actually multiply during the time that we had it. But I think it just sort of went over at the end of the day. So I can't remember. I wouldn't be able to remember how long it lasted or even what year I had it. But yeah, it was just one of those novelty ones from a garden shop, I think. So it was certainly an interesting plant. So I might try that again sometime.
But that one kind of didn't make it, am I guessing?
I'm not sure. I think I can't actually remember if they're sort of constant growers or if they only last for a certain amount of time. I can't actually remember, but yeah, it was certainly an interesting one to keep an eye on.
And I wonder if they eat themselves, because you only have to tickle the little hairs, don't you? And if they kind of grow towards each other, they might start eating each other. Anyway, any experience with Venus flytraps, John?
To be honest, no, I don't. No, it's not something I actually have experience with.
Carnivorous
no.
plant. And actually, if you can, that would be, we could short circuit this earlier challenge with wild boar here. If you could get one big enough for the wild boar problem of Portugal, there would be 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, Naomi is contacting us from Vietnam right now. Amazing. And yes, it's that Naomi in Vietnam, looking to move to the Alentejo and would love to learn about the natural landscape, flowers, trees, veg, etc. Thank you. Absolutely delight to do that for you, Naomi. That is our focus, Portugal and the UK. So yeah, we should be able to bring in some Alentejo action for you on the flora front. Okay, I think we should leave it there this week, and we just, hopefully he's okay. I'm sure
it'll be a 2-parter show this week. This week and next week.
We'll be back with Lee next Monday evening at 6:50.
Or will we?
I guess it depends on the internet, but sorry we didn't get around to sort of asking the questions, but we will reserve them for next time.
Absolutely, and a great job, John. Sorry, it's evening here.
Right.
Yes, I meant Alqueva. I don't know where that is, but Alqueva. Oh, as well as, okay, yeah. You're confusing me now with too many Vietnamese beers. Honestly, Naomi, have a great evening. Thank you again, Louise, for your wonderful videos and pics. I'm so glad to hear that you finally made it, because we've been with you on that journey, haven't we? Of being stuck in the UK whilst wanting to get to your central Portugal garden. And there's the proof of it there, that you're there and enjoying yourselves, which is fantastic. Próxima semana from Louise there. See you next week. And thank you, says Naomi. This seems to be a lovely group. It is. Absolutely, Naomi, and you're most welcome as a part of it. Take care, folks, and have a great evening. We will roll those end credits now, courtesy of that wonderful man in Alvazra, central Portugal too, Gary Austin.